not marry a wife for your son. I repeat, no wife for your son. Go in peace.
As custom of Okpula kingdom have it, female kids are born and are betrothed to any family that shows interest in them. The family takes up all responsibilities of the child till she is ripe for marriage. When the child is fully ripe and can take up home responsibilities, the family interested would come and pay up the girl's bride price fully and have the girl as theirs. Ezin's family was not an exception. Ezin from Ndukwi family was betrothed to Uchendu from child. Uchendu from the family of Akokelia was known for their success in farming. They had the biggest yam barn in the village. Ndukwi's family had benefited a lot from Akokelia's family for betrothing their daughter Ezin. Akokelia's family had in every market day stocked Ndukwi's family with yams of various sizes. Ndukwi's family never lacked food while training up Ezin. Ezin's father was a palm wine tapper, while her mother Ojugo was a trader. She buys and resells food stuffs every market day. She had also ventured into reselling of excess yams which couldn't eat to avoid spoilage, as yams are not always durable. Sometimes they process some of the yams into yam flour, and sometimes into pounded yam and use it as swallow for soups. At 10, Ezin helps her mother in her business. Her mother teaches her every secret in the business as well as preparing her for future. She stands a high chance of continuing in her mother's business line even at her husband's house. Ezin has high IQ, so even as a child she grabs all her mother teaches her fast. Ezin finally turned 13, she's all grown and fully ready to take up a mother's responsibilities. She had developed all the necessary vital parts needed in a woman for reproduction. Her mother had called her one day and sat her down to explain life for her. Ezin, my child, you've grown into a beautiful lady, God has really blessed you all round. Soon suitors will start flocking in for your hand in marriage, but you must know, she clears her throat more, that you have been betrothed to Akokelia's son Uchendu. Anytime from now they will be coming to pay your bride price in full. They had been our source of livelihood since you were born. Ezin listened to her mother keenly. She began to think back. She now understood why sometimes her mother would send her to Akokelia's home to run errands for them. There they would praise and call her our wife. She has thought it's a norm not until her mother explained everything for her. Uchendu has grown to become a good-looking man. He had taken after his father so much. He also ventured into his father's business. He cultivates and sells the best yam. Upon cultivating, buyers are already surrounded waiting to bid his yams. He would sell some and take some for home use. He flourished bountifully and from all round ready for marriage. Akokelia's family had sent out a message to Ndukwi's family stating they would come in next Afo day, which is 5 days away. Ezin had helped her mother prepare. They had gone to the market to get kola nuts, garden eggs, etc. Akokelia's family would then come with other remaining things. On that fateful day, Ezin's father had gone out early to tap wine. He wanted to serve them fresh and good. Ezin had swept and kept the compound neat. The two families came together and Ezin's bride price was fully paid. Ezin had packed all her belongings. She left with her husband people that same day. A lot of things had crossed her mind. She thought of her new home, the home she left behind, and many more. She was well welcomed in her new home. She had joined her mother-in-law to prepare a mighty meal for the whole family that night. Ezin lived happily with her husband, although Uchendu had angry spirit, but then Ezin had no option than to endure as her mother had taught her. Ezin and Uchendu had lived together for 9 years, but not even cry of a child has been heard. In 2 market days it would clock 10 years. Ezin was so much trouble this time. A lot of side talks aroused. Even her mother-in-law has suggested a second wife for Uchendu. Ezin was desperate to have a child. A lot of advice came. She was confused at a point. The world was dark and upside down in her path. Sometimes she would cry and weep all day long till night falls. Chim, why have you chosen to punish me this way? Why have you chosen me to be a laughingstock for my village people? She questioned her God one evening as she was lost in deep thoughts. Sometimes she would be lost in thought that even when a visitor comes in she won't notice till she was tapped. Ezini, there's this our Ofola deity I would want us to visit. People had said he's genuine and would likely have an answer to your barrenness, Ezine's mother had suggested for her one day. Ezini, scared and doubtful, neglected all, but not until her mother-in-law prepared to show her how serious she was. Ezini, give my son a child, give my son a child, is it till I die that I will see my grandkids, she had shouted one day. Ezini was left with no option, she had to do something. She concluded to join her mother and visit the Ofola deity her mother had once suggested for her. At the shrine, the chief priest requested for 2 hefty goats, kola nuts and eggs. Ezin and her mother fulfilled the demands the next market day. Go and procreate, the chief priest's voice echoed. For market days came and passed, Ezini did not see her monthly flow. She thought it was a joke. She told her mother about it and she danced in joy. Yes, he has done it. Yes, I know Ofola deity doesn't fail, Ezine's mother yelled. My child, for now, you wouldn't do any hard jobs, all those farming will end for now till you deliver, Ezine's mother further explained. Ezini don't know whether to cry or dance. Tears rolled down her cheeks. So finally I will become a baby mother, she muttered to herself. She didn't hesitate to break the news to her husband and mother-in-law. 9 months later she gave birth to an handsome baby boy. It's a boy, her mother-in-law had screamed. My son's replacement is here, she further stressed, jubilating. Baby was named after his father, they would call him UC Jr. in short. Little Junior brought back long-lost joy to the family. They loved and cherished him so much. Little UC Jr.'s growth was rapid, a baby of yesterday will be turning 15 soon. His 15th birthday had remained evergreen in his mother's mind. The Ofola deity had told them to return as soon as the child clocks 15 years. Ezini was worried on what this return to Ofola deity would be, same as Ezine's mother. Market day came, UC Jr. had turned 15. Ezin and her mother prepared and left for the Ofola deity. Good morning, chief high priest of Ofola deity, they chorused. The high priest responded and they sat down. The high priest went straight to the issues on ground. He commended them for honoring his invite. Ezini, he called, you must not marry a wife for your son, the gods forbids him from that if he wants to live long, and he must never have any intimacy with any female child. Mouth agape, Ezini received the worst shock of her life. But not only why, who will continue my husband's lineage? She asked. The gods has spoken, no wife for any child Ofola deity has given, go in peace and return no more, the chief priest echoed. Ezini and her mom left home. Ezine's facial expressions showed it all. She looked at her growing and gallant son, tears rolled down. The echo of the chief priest's voice kept coming. If this is my only chance to disobey the gods, I will do it. I must marry a wife for my son, I must. Ezini had said loud in her mind one fateful evening, sobbing. Ezin, please no, you will incur the wrath of Ofola deity, Ezine's mother said, begging her on her knees. With the look of things, Ezine's mind was made up. She's ready to accept any mature girl child her son brings home. To hell with the Ofola deity, Ezin muttered. Ezini had found a sweet and loving girl, Amoka, for her son. She would make a good wife for my son. Ezini smiled. Amoka, a slim, beautiful African lady and a well-known hairdresser in the town, has taken the good news to her family. Amoka was from Dyke's family in a neighboring village not so far off from Okpola Kingdom. They are well known for blacksmithing. The good news about their daughter got to them, and Amoka's father set out to make inquiries about the family her daughter is about to settle in. He came back. The few people he met had given him a bad perception of Akokelia's family. According to what he was told, they said they are never fruitful in terms of childbearing. Scared, Amoka's father had told her not to accept their proposal. "My daughter, I don't want you to enter into a place that will eat off your head. Stay, the best suitor will surely come for you," Amoka's father had spoken to her one evening. Amoka had fallen for Yusi Jr.'s handsomeness. No woman in the village would turn down Yusi Jr. marriage proposal. Amoka, engrossed in love, had fallen a deaf ear. Supported by her mother, they had approved the marriage proposal, and Amoka's bride price will be paid in upcoming Ko market day. Bride price paid, Amoka became Yusi Jr.'s wife. She started her wifey duties. Her mother-in-law loved her too, but her happiness was short-lived. She didn't know that something greater than her is underground, waiting to be uprooted with time. 9 months later, Amoka gave birth to a baby boy. The first 3 months of the Chimobi's birth was smooth and without hitch. Chimobi was a loving and handsome child everybody wants to carry. Neighborhood kids who have grown would come every morning to help Amoka carry Chimobi. They also help Amoka run some home errands. In next Afo market day, Chimobi will be 6 months, but something disastrous happened. Little Chimobi was found coughing out whitish substance from his mouth that afternoon. Amoka was shocked. She called her mother-in-law's attention. Ezin was not sure of what it might be. Little Chimobi was taken to the village home care, but they said it's not what home care can take care of. Amoka was worried. She was so protective of her only child. Ezini was scared that it could be Ofola deity that has come for war. She was scared to take the Chimobi there. So she suggested another deity. Meanwhile, while all these were going on, Yusi had started degenerating in his farm work. He would plant crops and none will grow. Those that grew doesn't take time to wither and die. Food was no longer enough for the family. Ezini took Amoka's child Chimobi to a local deity. There the deity told them that nothing can be done. "The gods are angry," he said. Amoka was greatly perplexed. She never knew why the gods should be angry over her own child. Unfortunately, Chimobi died after 3 market days. You see, Amoka's husband meanwhile fell ill the next following week. He had boils, inflammation all over his body with a swelling stomach. He was in very deep pain. Ezini knew she was the cause of all. She also wished for death. She aged so quick, even more than her mother Ojugo. Amoka wept bitterly. She had traveled back home to tell her mother how everything is going. She's tired and had wept, saying this was never the kind of marriage she wished for. Her mother later went to a nearby deity for inquiries on what could be the cause of everything. There she received the shock of her life. She wept and lamented. If she had known, she would have listened to Amoka's father's warnings. Akokelia's family had incurred a generational curse. Years later, all the family members died and there was never a single soul in that family again. Such a great tragedy due to Ezini's disobedience. Please like, subscribe and share.